everyone, and welcome to another episode of Monday Shots, the podcast where we dive deep into the maritime industry's very topics with industry leaders and experts. I'm your host Khyati, and today we're joined by a very special guest from Charter's P&I Club, a part of the MECO Group. Joining us is Captain Kavinit Uberoi, Regional Underwriter at Charter's P&I Club, with a background as an ex-master specializing in tankers and risk management. Offers insights into practical shipping issues. Captain Uberoi, it's an honor to have you here on Monday Shots.
Thank you, Khyati. Thank you for having me on your Monday podcast. I think the topic you've given me is very extensive, but I'll try and do justice in the next 5 to 7 minutes.
Definitely, and I hope you're equally excited as I am looking on the camera.
Well, it's my first time in front of the camera, and I think I don't have a script, so I think I'll come out as natural as possible.
Definitely. Okay, so without any further ado, here I shoot my first question. P&I insurance plays a crucial role in maritime operations. So could you explain the importance of P&I insurance and how it mitigates risks in the shipping industry? So what are your thoughts on that?
Khyati, the concept of P&I started in the 18th century. And when the world trade started to increase, shipping, which was the mecca of shipping, was London, where you had ship owners gather around the table, and what they formed is a group of people, what we call as a club. Yeah. So club is nothing but an insurance platform to provide insurance to ship owners. Now, having said that, as you know, P stands for protection, I stands for indemnity, and the concept is nothing but it's a third-party cover, which is provided to ship owners. So for your audience who don't understand and may come from various walks of life, is P&I Club is nothing but a third-party insurer for the ship owners. Of course, as on date, the P&I industry has transformed into various other products, and they offer third-party insurance to companies like yourself, which are chartering ships. Right. And that is what we do in the Charter's P&I Club. We provide insurance to people who basically charter vessels.
Okay, so moving ahead, as a risk underwriter, you have a unique vantage point on the challenges and risks faced by charterers in the maritime industry, right? So could you elaborate on the types of P&I claims you commonly encounter from your clients? I mean, what are the most frequent issues they face?
As on date, I joined the P&I industry about 15 years ago when I hung my sailing boots, and I could give you examples in a nutshell in the last 15, 20, 30 years. And largely, we've seen the large claims have been on port safety, port warranty, where, as you know, that a lot of the risk is contractual. And for people chartering in vessels, and my concentration today is from a chartering perspective, is that you have a lot of indemnities in your contracts, which is basically a charter party, and these indemnities basically give rise to risk. So the safe port warranty is largely the large risk which is faced by charterers. You do have other claims of lesser in magnitude, like the typical thing is like a stevedore damage, which most of the audience here would relate to who are into chartering ships. Mm-hmm. And then it goes on to further examples like, off-spec bunker claims, you have, crew deaths, general average, so on and so forth. But the single largest, if I want to cherry pick one largest risk out, has been the safe port warranty. And largely, I think if you go back 100 years, the contracts were different. Okay. So BIMCO has, as you know, it's an owner's body. It's a body which is drafting contracts, and it is, there's a lot of thought gone into those wordings, and they change the goalposts for the owner, for the charterer. I know the chartering community feel a bit let down, because BIMCO is generally in a way owner's friendly body, but then I think they do a good job, and the COVID was an example where they tried to get the balance right between the owner and the charterer. But I think the chartering lobby and the chartering voices still have a lot of work to do to get their voice heard in terms of contractual liability. And we as Charteris P&I Club are very vocal about the clauses which BIMCO put out. But of course, there's a balance one draws when drafting out contracts, really.
So coming to your next question, considering the diverse regions your clients operate in, do you observe any area-specific claims? Like, for instance, are the claims arising in the Pacific different from those in the USA or the Atlantic? What would you like to?
I think the fundamentals remain the same. Of course, individual companies have their own experiences when they trade vessels to a particular country. Like I sit in Dubai and I largely look after Middle East, India and Singapore.
Yeah.
And most of our assureds in this particular region trade between, trade in the Pacific, trade in the Indian Ocean. So principally, whether you trade a ship to South America or China, the liabilities are largely the same. But you have various flavors of nations which produce claims. You could have, in some countries you could expect cargo claims. In some countries where there's a lot of river transport, you could expect a lot of groundings. You could expect claims from, like in the US jurisdiction, you have pollution fines. So various countries have their individual laws when it comes to handling third-party claims. And I think the P&I industry at large is evolving. You cannot call every P&I year the same. And the exact, there's a question which probably you'll ask me later on, but you have the war which is going on in the Black Sea, and ships passing through the Gulf of Aden. So what the P&I industry at large do is they look at shipping risk, regionally, they look at it globally, and then they give loss prevention advices to their assureds or members. And then the ship owners and operators take that advices on board, and then they start negotiating those contracts. Whether it is principally it's the same, but yes, you have your regional flavors, and I'm quite passionate about regional flavors, and we always alert our assureds when it comes to regional claims. And I think they take advantage of the fact that as an industry we see a lot more than what you see as a single company. So I think that's been well appreciated by a lot of our assureds.
My next question is exactly regarding the Red Sea crisis. So with recent reports of increased pirate attacks in the Red Sea, the maritime industry is facing significant challenges in ensuring the safety of vessels and cargo. And I believe these incidents not only pose serious risk, but also have broader implications for maritime insurance. So given these developments, have you noticed any impact on the insurance premiums? Like, how do these regional factors influence the cost in terms of coverage for your clients?
Well, it's a very debatable subject. When it comes to insurance cost, it's like anything you buy in life, the cost goes up. It has to meet the inflationary challenges, and insurance is no different. And we do get into the debate on commercials, but stepping away from commercials, as far as Red Sea is concerned, a couple of months ago, you see the attacks in the Red Sea did increase.
Yes.
The P&I industry, which had the Red Sea included in the war risk, was then excluded, and then assureds, owners, operators had to buy this back and pay extra premium for it. So yes, there was implications on the premium. Of course, we can't forget the element of crew, which is actually going through the Red Sea. We may sit on the charter side, but being an ex-seafarer myself and having sailed through the Gulf of Aden several times during the peak piracy, I do feel for the crew who could be a target to a drone attack. Right. I think MLC and similar statutory regulations do give the right to the master and the crew to and a choice whether they want to really transit. And when it comes to crew, it's always a very sensitive and an emotional topic: is do you put people through the Red Sea where there's drone attacks? Right. I think largely as of now, there has been an attack a couple of weeks ago where there was a total loss. There have been, at least from my recollection, about 4 crew deaths which have happened. And I think largely the crew is transiting the Red Sea. There is people paying the extra insurance cost. I'm not going to talk about when that things will drop down because I have no intelligence reports of it. But I think some companies have taken a view to avoid the Red Sea fully. Some companies have taken a view to transit through Red Sea. So it's a very personal thing. And well, vessels are covered, they're insured, people pay the extra money, and the trade is done. As far as where we sit here, it does significantly increase the trade cost from, let's say, the west coast of India. But maybe a China-US voyage, and including the Suez Canal transit costs, it doesn't make much of a difference. This is what my favorite chartering manager in Assured's office tells me, that it's not made a big difference. But it is something which the world is watching, and the clubs are quite ready. They've got the policies in place, and it's a learning exercise for all of us. Actually, it's something which has not happened before. Yes, 2 years back you had the Black Sea issue, now the Red Sea issue. So it's a learning thing for most of the younger underwriters. I'm not saying I'm young, but been in the industry for 15 years, so it's a learning base as far as war is concerned. We always make it a point to tell the assureds, the choice is theirs if they want to buy it back. I think most of them, being wise enough to buy it back, they factor in the cost and they move the trade. So I think it's something which we'll wait and see how this further develops in due course.
Last but not the least, could you elaborate on the most common legal challenges faced by maritime businesses in India, the Middle East and Singapore?
It's a topic which I'm very passionate about, the challenges, because we all like challenges in life, and if you come out as a winner, you feel really job satisfied. Few things, if I were to put it in bullet points, is one is enforcement of arbitration awards. I think this is something which I'm not a lawyer, I've not done my law, but I keep asking the legal fraternity of enforcement of awards, of English awards in foreign jurisdiction against companies in wherever they're based or wherever they're domiciled. And this is something which, as a very simple seafarer, I never thought it would be so difficult, but something which is for the legal systems in various countries to take note of. The trade has expanded into various jurisdictions, and where the law and enforcement abilities have not been up to the standards, and various companies ask me, well, we can't enforce something which is already won. And this is something which I think a lot of the audience would agree to me is enforcement of foreign awards. The other thing is, of course, training, which gets into offices. I think I've been a trainer in my previous capacity in ship owning, and I believe training and education for in-house staff, for whether it's a ship owner or operator, is extremely important. I call it, as an insurer, something which can prevent losses in the future, and we do that a lot in our daily jobs, in either through a conversation or through news articles or through seminars and workshops. And I think there should be training departments to uplift the skill set of organizations, and more so in operating houses where there are new recruits, and they should be going up through the ladders before actually taking positions of decision making. I think that is something I'm very passionate about. That is something which I personally do. That is something which I personally like to do, and through the course of my insurance journey. And so that's the second point, is training, education in operating houses on contracts, and what is being put into it. Do people understand it? Does it have any insurance repercussions? And that is extremely important in my view.
And with this, we end our today's episode. Thank you, Captain Uberoi, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise with our audience. To recap, we have discussed the critical role P&I plays in mitigating risks in the maritime industry, and explored the common types of P&I claims faced by charterers. We also got a detailed view of the area-specific claims and the unique challenges encountered in different regions. We also touched on the implications of increased pirate attacks in the Red Sea and their impact on insurance premiums and coverage terms. It's clear that the maritime industry is constantly evolving, and navigating these waters requires both strategic risk management and deep understanding of regional legal landscapes. Thank you again, Captain Uberoi, for joining us on this episode of Monday Shots. Hope you must have enjoyed this discussion and your time being here.
Thank you, Khyati. Thank you so much. Pleasure to demonstrate my passion for the chartering community at large through your Monday podcast. And I think it can't cover everything,
Awesome.
but at least it can trigger certain minds into looking at contracts, looking at training, and looking at risk in a much more pragmatic way. And that's the hope I carry forward.
Yes,
Thank you so
definitely.
much.
Thank you so much, sir. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time on Monday Shots. Till then, goodbye and have a great week ahead. Thank you.